Because here's the thing about that, and this is why I respect the game so much, especially with Kev Mac and how you guys are doing it. Is, man, unbiased point, right? It is what it is, and if it ain't, it ain't.
For the dime moves and the lokes, for the 6-4s on spokes, for the OGs that did a dime, came back around on parole, for the homegirls with the scrap game, little homies that gang bang, from Pelican Bay to YA, rearrange your mind frame. Yeah, I know what you've been through. Shit you had to go get to. Your mama gave birth on the turf. I know them killers you kin to. This for the lost generation, broke as hell, mad and impatient. But if you know your history, you can't have a strong foundation, baby.
Was on sport and start calling me Big Knee.
Six Shakur from Eastside, Bloodstone, Getting by City. Also known as Shady Eyes is my hood name.
Man, the kid that got to be put on problem, man. They just do you. I created Tony Pocket in my mother's garage.
They call me Tiny Ant from Rolling 60, but they're known as Tylo Tiny Ant.
Started hanging out.
When the homies got me, and after the Hoopers backed out of CCO, and then the homies got me, told me to back out of CCO. By that time, I was a lieutenant. I had my own quadrant. I was walking like a little pyramid.
It's harder to go
with all my security, all strapped on the yard, in this little ass yard. I was just flossing. I didn't need all that, right? But people would come out to your yard be like UFOs. They just run at you because we at war with the Blue Nose. So the homies just get at me and tell me to back out of CCO. Took getting at me. And I'm like, nah. By that time, I was living high on the hog. But I was doing the right thing, though.
He was a lieutenant in the CCO. You said you had the squadron. Were any of those squadrons from Rolling 60s?
No, but my right leader right now I would have to report to about all this was Motor Mouse, Scary.
And if it was gonna be a 60, he lived over there, he would have been one.
What you talking about? He is one. What you talking about? Motor Mouse is 60s.
When Motor Mouse got locked up, what was Motor Mouse?
It was Motor 60.
All right.
Him and Stagger Lee. Remember that?
Oh, you talking about light skin with the
Floyd.
sword? Oh yeah, Motor Mouse was 60s. Yeah. I thought you were talking about somebody else. I hadn't heard that name in so long. Motor Mouse never stayed on the street.
Right. We know
Kody before Monster Cody.
We know Monster knows Rebo personally. How about Rocc Head and Cutes? Do you guys know Rebo?
I don't know him. I heard of him.
How about you, Rocc Head?
Rebo, my homeboy. Man, you know what Compton Crip, like what Rebo say, nigga? Compton Crip, 2 C's, nigga. All day, they be threw up 2 C's. I mean, growing up, that's all we understood. Although we from different parts of Compton, they on the west side of Compton, we on the east side. Again, nigga, East Side Oaks Park Businessman Compton Crip was the only Crip set on all the east side Compton Crip in the beginning. And Santana Block Compton Crip became one of the most vicious Compton Crip sets in the history of Comptons.
And the richest.
So real, and the richest with Turtle, rest in peace, and others. But at the end of the day, Rebo was my homeboy. Always is my homeboy. I haven't seen him since he been out. I know he's sick. He's sick. And
We just lost big
that's my nigga. Rebo's my nigga. We was equals in namesake. See, people don't understand about Compton Crip. It was always about namesake. You had Big Wood Rat. It was a motherfucker.
I knew Wood Rat.
You know what I'm saying? Rebo, King Rat. People don't really talk too much on King Rat. King Rat was a monster. Mad Dog. I don't talk about Donald Richard, original karate man from the Grandies. That's my cousin. You get what I'm saying? So it's always been namesakes in Compton. Not one person, from Mad on down, not one person ran Compton Crip. Never. It always been named from movie star to all the homies. But again, we were set apart. Oaks Park and Santana Block were set apart because all we had was each other. True enough, when the Pyrus blew up in 72, 73, Ludus Park blew up in 773. Yeah, nigga, all the east side is Pyrus. Y'all might well be Pyrus too. Nigga, Oaks Park said, hell motherfucker no. Nigga, we Crips. We Compton Crips. And what Rebo represented as far as Compton Crips, that's what we represented. Compton Crips. When I became a part of CCO, again, Compton, 70%, probably 50% of Compton Crips, 70% of all the Compton Crips was basically CCO. Maybe 50% of all 60s was basically CCO. Yep. I mean, so it always been, we always been a stronghold.
So me and Rocc Head were having a conversation on the street corner before we came up here. And we were talking about CCOs, and a lot of the fans in the comments want to know how come our guys that we interview always speak on the BGF wars, but they shy away from the Mexican wars. And you was telling me something on the sidewalk about in 1985, the war between CCOs and the Mexican Mafia.
I mean, it was on an article he put up. And in 85, they declared war on CCO, Crips, period. Mainly CCO because the question you asked me was, what's the difference from we hitting each other every now and then and declaring war? When we hit each other, then we go on to peace treaties and hit each other. But when they declared war on us, it was an all-out war because at that time, for the first time, Crips was taking over prisons. Early on, they always been the stronghold. But when they saw how organized we became and how we became that machine and start knocking motherfuckers down on a daily basis, and you had monsters, like some of us became monsters.
We were violent.
Very violent. Imagine you in a cell. They let me out the hole once. This is my cell. Spanish. Open my cell. You got 2 in these cells, 8 motherfuckers coming in my cell. And guess what? 6 of them was laying down, nigga. When the man put that down, he told me to lay down. They ain't coming. I was a monster. This ain't no motherfucker.
Ghost bed.
Yeah. See, but you got to understand, not saying it was an all-out war that was different from us hitting each other and peace treating us hitting each other, because for the first time, Crips really put it down. And like I said, one dude mentioned the Kev Mac. I make it seem like, or we make it seem like, that Crips wasn't shit.
No,
I'm beyond. When they were strong, they were strong. I'm gonna get this. Hold on. Let me
edit that part out.
No, I'm not. No, fuck that. When they were strong, they were strong. But when they hit me for hitting a white boy, so I broke they peace treating in Tracy in 1979 when I'm at war, when the Crips are at war. Man, how in the fuck you gonna be something you represent? When you slide a book up under my door when I'm a 16, 17-year-old kid, you open a book, now you welcome to the Jama family, is that correct? So if motherfuckers listening to me, and you think that manipulation and crossing up young African motherfucking American young motherfucking men because we represent Crip or whatever the fuck we represent at that fucking time, you think that was cool? How many brothers they entrapped in they shit? Like I said, beginning, Monster, in the beginning of their history, when they came up in the 60s and 70s, they was a fucking machine. I admit to that shit. They was a machine. But again, they went away from their concepts. And back then, they didn't date white girls. They didn't use drugs. They didn't hit brothers. They started doing all that motherfucking shit. So when they put that book up under my door and I walked out my cell, they said, "Welcome to nigga, fuck the John, my nigga. I'm a Compton motherfucking Crip." That's what I said. That's what I meant. When they put an ice pick in my back of my motherfucking neck for hitting that white boy across, stabbing that motherfucking white boy up who I saw stabbed and throw a homeboy over a tear, and I laid that motherfucker out on that yard, and they came back and hit me. You think that shit cool? Yeah, I jumped in the shower with they fucking general and got that ass.
Okay, what I was saying was this.
Hold on, 1 minute.
Cause that
I
was
get tired of
that-
motherfuckers talking shit about that John Moore shit.
I mean, what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. I spoke about this earlier. Back in about 21, 22 years ago. My homie was filming me, and I started blazing just like you. I started blazing on Mexican Mafia, the Serenios, right? Never thinking what the homie was gonna do with that shit. I ended up going to jail. A kid come on my cell one day and say, "Man, I seen your new movie out, man. That shit's crazy." I said, "What? What new movie?" He said, "Some shit called War Stories." Man, that dude took that step footage and put that shit and made a documentary out of it. And sold that shit called War Stories. It had clips of me just getting off of motherfuckers verbally. But now I'm sitting on the main line with these motherfuckers, and we all out the hole. Everybody out the hole. No more indeterminates. So it's John on the main line. NF, AB, MA. And everybody got a phone. So I'm like, fuck. It's only gonna be a matter of time. These motherfuckers say, "Ain't that dude right there in this next cell? Such and such?" So my thing is, I'm in good standings. I did fucking over 30 years in the hole. You know what I'm saying? I never debriefed. Never dropped out of nothing.
Rocc Head never debriefed.
Repeat that again. What you ever do?
Never dropped
That's
out.
my point.
Yeah,
Never.
So they shouldn't treat him that way. They try to take advantage of him because he's a kid.
No,
and when we all got rolled up because when he got there, they had already rolled me up. They had already got rid of the muscle of the black coats. They didn't already drop kites on me and took my little car and shot us to Folsom. So when I got there, I tied my blue rag on my head. I'm ready to fight Chino in there. I'm ready to take them down.
Coots, when you first hit prison, who were the blacks and Crips warring with when you first hit prison?
Wasn't no Crips claiming Crip.
Who were the blacks warring with when you first got there? Who was the enemy?
They were using. This is what happened. This is everything he's saying is real. They got hooked on dope. The Revolutionary Brothers, the ones that was there before, they had got locked up and put in the hole. Hugo and all them were locked up and put in the hole. They left people out on the main line that would bargain with the system. These dudes were sellouts, and they were they kept all the hogs in the hole. They wouldn't let the hitters off the hole. The ones that we would have looked up to, that would have been our status to say, "Hey, I want to be like him," or we didn't get to be around those guys until we got locked up in the hole. And when we would go to the hole, they would tell us that those guys out there are foul. Like when I would go put back in shoot 2, you ain't gonna meet them in shoot 2. You gotta go to 4A. When they would put me in 4A, they give me the history of what happened here 5 years before I got here in the 70s. And I'm like, fuck. And you know who's telling me all of this shit? The Soledad Brothers giving me the history. He's telling me, he's giving me the whole rundown on what's going on.
John Couchette?
Yeah, I'm right next door to him. And he says, you know what? I don't care if you're a Crip. You can be a Crip until you die. But I'm going to let you know something. When you go out to that main line, don't trust them brothers out there.
Yeah.
He named them. And he said, don't you trust them? He said, so when your little homies come up here, you guys take care of yourself out there.
Let me tell you something real quick on that page.
Because he said something that you said downstairs. He said the main hitters were took off the main line and locked away.
Yeah.
But you said that was a reason.
I told you that.
To the conclusion of the CCOs and the Mexican Mafia, you said there was a conclusion from that. based on the hitters being took off?
We was off the main. Oh, he wanted me to relate to when all of us when he did the article, it was 500 something stabbings in 85, 86. I said because all the hitters, all the dudes that was on general population, the old Folsom in 85, 86, they were new to jail.
They didn't know how to survive.
That's when they put 500 or 600 Crips and Bloods and on that yard, and all of a sudden you're in the middle of a war. When they declared war, they didn't, without their guns, they didn't understand how to hang. They didn't know how to make kissus or knives yet. They didn't know how to protect themselves because they was fresh, and we were all locked up in the hole, or we had bad. Oh, don't fuck with them dudes, them CCO, man. And we trying to teach and educate these young brothers, but they start running away from discipline, running away from structure, running away to be taught something. Like I said, I became personally a part of CCO because I didn't know how to read. I didn't have 7th grade fucking education. And when I saw the different shit about that, and the reason I made it clear, I said it then, I said it now. I said I will start from the bottom, but I'm always on the top. That's why I became part of it. Because everybody knew I was rank and file, but I learned everything from the bottom. When I told them I used to be against quiet periods. I mean, fuck a quiet period. Well, you big I ain't got no big motherfucker homie.
You gotta want to survive. You can't let this dude scare you to death. You can't let another man that's made out of flesh scare you to where you don't want to attack him. What do you mean you don't want to attack him because of his status or who he is? Everybody's equal. If I'm violent, you're violent, you gonna stab me? Ah, man. But I put blinders on all of that shit. If I'm gonna be violent and I'm violent with all these people, I'm going home and I'm not gonna PC up.
But
I'm gonna go home to the main line.
But it kind of boils down to telling the whole truth.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole truth depends on a need-to-know basis.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody don't need to know everything.
Everybody don't need to know.
Now here's the thing.
Yeah, he's right about that. But I tell you one thing.
You're looking
at 3 survivors.
But look, and let me say, look, our mother used to say this. The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Yeah.
But she didn't tell us the whole truth. Because the bigger they are, the harder they hit. Mama, why you didn't tell us that? Them motherfuckers knock the shit out of me.
Them motherfuckers will knock the shit out of me.
And so sometimes, she by not telling us the whole truth, all we thinking is that this big motherfucker gonna fall.
Yeah.
She didn't tell us the whole truth. So, coming up against...
And you gotta look at too, we bickering with each other. Our bickering with each other is because we want our independence. We sold them.
We all want our
independence.
independence.
He's not gonna tell me what to do if I don't agree with him.
Mm-hmm.
The only way him and I is gonna come together if we know it ain't over his dope.
But
I'm not fighting over his dope.
Well, here's the problem.
I'm not gonna go stick a key
but hold on. And what I say,
stab somebody.
And what I say downstairs, I said the structure.
I'm not gonna be your torpedo.
The structure understood one thing about me. Wrong was wrong, right is right.
Yeah.
If they were wrong, I stood up and I got in their ass verbally, just like I'm talking now. They never liked it, but they couldn't stop me. Because you were wrong. You wasn't going to hit that brother right there because he wouldn't hold your knife, but you got a dope dealer over here giving you dope. He ain't never got to do shit. So I start hitting they motherfucking dope dealers.
Gotta come to the yard.
Got to come to the yard. So that shit stopped. I was against wrong.
Oh, I got a legal visit.
It's just like when Killer, just like when Killer spoke. What Killer say about me? I ask people. I go in my barbershop. They call me Kisu. That's how I said. What did y'all get from what Killer said about me? He said you never sent a homeboy on a mission. If you did, you went with him and you did what you're supposed to do. You always educate and you always teach. That's my motto. There's not a homeboy in prison system could ever say I took advantage of him, I used him, I abused him, or I misled him. I've always educated a young homeboy. That's why I say I don't give a fuck about OGs. Because OGs have had a tendency over the years to always take advantage and fuck over homies.
That's why all the youngsters.
I don't like to.
That's why all the youngsters like me. All the youngsters like me because I was the first one in. And when they got there, I never asked one of them to hold my knife, and I knew how to make them before they knew how to make them. I never asked one to do a hit for me. I would do my own hits. I never tried to manipulate no homie. The homies would want to ride down with me. They would say, "Hey, Cooch, we'll go down with you."
What year
like
were you
that.
in there?
From 1980 all the way to 2011.
Did you participate in these Crips versus the Mexican Mafia wars?
I would fight anybody. If you bring it my way, if you bring some shit my way, I don't give a fuck where you from. I don't care about none of that shit. I'm gonna survive. I'm not gonna go in jail and be a hateful person, just like I act nice like I am right now, that's how I was in there. But you ain't gonna cross me. You ain't gonna come your way. You don't let the smooth takes fool you.
I'm the exact opposite of that.
I'll fight anybody.
I joined the organized formation. So by belonging to organized formation, that if it's on with the Mexicans, it's on with the Mexicans. It don't matter if they come at me personally. They didn't came at a comrade. They didn't hit somebody in our gene pool, and that's how it's played. Even though if you ain't a racist, you get sucked into that sickness in there about the gene pool thing. You know what I mean?
Is he? But
let me say just real quick.
I done been in shit where motherfuckers didn't want to help me. So I don't give a fuck about that shit. I tell you what, I could go in any cell in CDC, and when I come out, I'm gonna have a weapon.
Austin, you're shaking your head. You don't agree with cutes.
No, we don't gotta agree. We comrades. We don't gotta. Iron sharpen iron. Yeah, Iron sharpen. He's an organization.
Versus
he's making a point. I can't. I'm not disputing what he's saying. No, I'm not disagreeing.
I want to hear Monster's comments.
I'm not disagreeing.
No, but
we all live our own lives.
When we under oath, when we under oath, there's rules and regulations within that structure. So whoever our organization declare war with or have war with, that's a given.
But back then, tell the truth though, if John Ma was at war with the Mexican Mafia, all blacks was at war with the Mexican Mafia. Because that's how we got sucked into it, and then John Ma backed out and left us out there.
No, see, but I didn't get in that shit. I didn't get in that shit.
I never got in that shit.
And even I'm saying, what he's saying is this, even when John Ma had the issues with other races, that was the issue. CCO necessarily didn't get into that. From my perspective,
you know, John Ma CCO.
But you was a target by John.
I mean, that's the rumor.
Blacks have never been united in prison as one against the other races ever.
We were forced to fight side by side, and they just start hitting around them blacks. You forced to fight side by side.
They always looked at it through a racial lens.
That's how they looked at us.
CDC try to make it look like that. They try to see the way it is you gotta be an individual down motherfucker. You gotta be able to hold your own. You got, even if you hunt paperwork, you can have all of these guys send the paperwork, but only a few people hold their own.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, you got motherfuckers. You ain't gonna know this until you face with combatants that's coming your way. You could be walking to the chow hall and you got 3 motherfuckers rushing your way. I mean, they coming, and you about from here to where that wall is, and they coming towards you, and they coming towards you with masks on. They come get you. What are you gonna do? Are you going to run or are you going to go toward them? But I'm going to run. I'm going to run toward them.
You're belaboring the point, though. I get your point.
I'm going to run toward them because I know the gun tower is going to shoot. Now, I can block out the sound of bullets for a certain amount of time. You got to be able to block out maybe 4 or 5 shots. You got to. So I'm blocking out 4. I already got the count in my head. I'm going to block out 4.
Those are the warning shots?
Hell no, they ain't warning shots. No S-man, no warning shots. I'm blocking out 4. I always give myself 4. If you're going to shoot me, that 4th one might get me. So on the 4th one, I go down. I go down on 4.
See, but Q, what they don't want to get is this. My first experience in prison, when I went to Chino, my first experience in Chino, I walked out my cell, I heard charge.
Yeah.
Whites and others come after blacks. I turned around, the blacks ran that way. I did what he said. What a real motherfucker would do. I ran in the belly of the beast.
You got to run toward him because you get stabbed in the back, your lungs gone.
I mean, I ran that, but that's me. That's Q. That's certain of us. Like the biggest thing he said today that's fucking me up just now. You got motherfuckers debriefing who was King Kong.
Yeah,
I don't get that.
You gonna let yourself. Here go a dude. And in your mind, you didn't make him King Kong, and now you look on the news and he didn't debrief. I didn't make nobody King Kong. I said, you know what? I'm gonna walk around peaceful. I'm gonna try to mind my own business. If you get to fucking with me or somebody that I like, and the person that I like ain't doing no foul shit, I'm going down with him.
But you guys, I understand what you both are saying, but you guys aren't taking it deep enough. That's just a shallow perception that you see, the above ground thing. Listen, man. What we're talking about is 2 different dynamics here that's involved in this shit. Real talk. Look. The CCO had some fucked up points and had some beautiful points.
I agree.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you guys,
I know, but you gotta let me get to a point, bro.
Let me get to the point. Let me
get to a point. A lot of times we had no blueprint. We had no schematic. We didn't know which way to go. We were doing that shit by groping in the dark, trying to emulate other organizations. But we made a stab at it. And I can tell you, in some of the places I was in, it was the most beautiful thing I ever seen. When that shit was operating at its highest level. Mm-hmm. Even as it was crumbling that I couldn't see because I wasn't privy to that. Mm-hmm. I seen it, man. I seen that beauty. Just young, thriving ass hope.
I agree.
All I'm saying is this. Do we condemn and throw away what's bad because it's only one side? We got to be more democratic.
No, let me show you something. I say it again. I said in my last interview, that's why you got to see it. In the beginning, to me, it was the best thing. For me. I can't speak while everybody else joined. Yeah. But for me, it was the best thing for me at that time. But when you get 20 or 30 youngsters come to you and say, homie, we're going to the yard tomorrow to hit rank and file. I said, what's going on? We don't like what they doing. And deep inside my soul, I knew about the black party, secret party. You get what I'm saying? Oh. I knew about the secret party. I knew a lot of homeboys being protected that really wasn't homeboy, but homeboys get hit for no reason. Yeah, no. So I told the little homies, no, if y'all try to do it, it'd be a battle, it'd be a big split. I said, I will come outside to the yard and do it. I'm the one who dismantled CCO at New Folks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, old folks, I mean, in one building. Yeah. So what I said was, all the Compton go home. Big Papa from Long Beach Insane said all the Long Beach go home. Nasabam, Russ, and a couple other guys that was there. And Punkin was my road dog from Long Beach 20s. He said, Rocc Head, I understand what you're saying. Everything you're saying is real. He said, let's at least continue being a part of the party. I said, no, we out. This is what I also said, Monster. This is why a motherfucker can't say shit bad about me. I also said, because I took that oath, technically, we all of us who took that fucking oath, we're no longer from our hoods. Right. So we took that oath. We're saying we're not Crips no more. We're not this more. We became not from our hood. Let me show you. When I took that oath, me personally, and I pulled a meeting after everything was dropped, I said, I'm no longer Compton Crips, but I have to become a teacher and an educator to my young homies. I have to show them how to be leaders. I have to groom them, and that's the attitude I personally took.
I never.
Let me weigh in. Let me weigh in one time.
I never stopped being from my hood.
Let me weigh in.
Because at that time, I was one of the pullers from the hood. I was one of the dudes that they recruited to get that from the hood.
My hood looked at you funny if you joined the organization.
Back in the day. I mean.
Oh, your hood?
I mean, recently though.
Yeah, 50% of the 6 O's part of CCO. What are you talking about?
They're not excluded.
Yeah, so now they say that's a recent
phenomenon. See, they wasn't there either. See, somebody can look from that window on the outside and judge these brothers, but they wasn't there. So the reason they trying to judge is because they probably, couldn't have dealt with the pressures and everything that we dealt with as young men. Like I said, at the different times we got to these prisons, these other gangs were already been there 20 years, 30 years, already established. They worked up in the trade area where they could move equipment down, do this, do that, sharpen shit with fucking machine belts and everything. And we didn't have shit but plastic.
Nigga, I'm a cusser. God damn. When you first met me, was I cussing?
He's a Christian.
Yes.
Man. He's a
I'm sorry if you're a Christian. You're Christian.
No, I ain't no Christian.
My point is this. Not only did they have power and position, at that time, they was moving inmates from prison to prison.
Oh, yeah.
They was making sure we had the disadvantage.
Yeah.
Just like I said, when that shit happened with me and Tracy in '79, they had to send a whole new car from San Quentin of Jamas. And them Jamas disciplined them Jamas for hitting me because they said they was totally in violation for hitting me, and I'm a Crip for hitting a white boy. That is not they peace treating is not my peace treating. And then the brother Farouk, I say Farouk again, Big Bear. Farouk was a hell of a motherfucking brother, and for years afterward, he always tried to convince me that what that group did is what they represent. I got love for Farouk, who's a Jama. Hands down.
A dropout.
I didn't know that. God damn. I've been gone.
I got two final questions for you.
Well, you speaking of him when he wasn't.
When he wasn't.
Yeah, when he wasn't.
So, like, real quick.
You speaking on him in a time that froze.
So, when the time that happened, I had love for him. But for people to continue to question how I feel and what I say about them cats, you go to prison. Yeah. At a time that we went, we're not talking about these guys going to prison in '92 and getting out in 2014 and said I did 20 years. Yeah. Nigga, y'all ain't did no time. We made it possible for you guys to live in them prison
When we came into the county jail, it wasn't no Crip tank, it wasn't no blood tank. It was survival of the fittest.
It was survival.
When we got to the joint, it was survival of the fittest. And we survived, and we came home from the main line, and we're free right now. And I advocate today for kids not to follow in our footsteps because you might not be equipped. I don't think you eat the right food to deal with the shit that we dealt with. But if you want to think you can live this life, whatever you getting high off of, making you feel like Superman, we went through our shit sober. Because I didn't drink Pruno in there, I didn't get high in there, and I faced this shit sober for 32 years and 4 fucking months. And then one day came along, they opened that door and let me back out in this world. And now that I'm back out in this world, I ain't gonna be a selfish motherfucker. I didn't come out here with a mandate to fuck some motherfuckers up. Right. I come out here to save some lives. Right. So if you in there and you under paperwork, I don't care if you're a Mexican mafia, I don't care if you're an AB, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. If you wanna come out here and help me save some kids' lives, I need you up under paperwork, because I don't want no motherfucking dropout. Not walking with me, going in fucking a gang park, talking at a gang meeting. I need someone that the kids is gonna respect. They're gonna respect a motherfucker like me, that ain't dropped out. They're gonna respect him who ain't dropped out. And they're gonna respect him who ain't dropped out. Now, I got these 3 brothers out here. We out here together. And there's more of us coming. And we ain't got no secret thing to build, no super criminal organization, or none of that bullshit. So any of you out there looking, you say, them motherfuckers got an ulterior motive. They gonna try to put some super criminal bullshit together. You a motherfucking lie. Don't spread no propaganda. We wanna save little kids. We want to prevent what happened the other day at a school where a little kid was so frustrated he thought he had to kill some classmates and didn't dome himself. That was wrong.